So Lewis, obviously yesterday, you've had so many pole positions on a Saturday. I mean, you've been untouchable in recent years when it comes to qualifying, but I don't think I've ever heard you celebrate coming P2 in a qualifying session quite like yesterday. I think that just kind of sums up where you guys have been this weekend and how tough it's been. Kind of summarise that for us.
Absolutely, it has been such a challenge the last two races. You know, like Monaco was obviously a disaster for us, and we walked away from there, and it's been painful for the past 2 weeks. It doesn't matter how many years you've been racing; it's always painful losing, and really trying to figure out, coming in hopeful that we're going to be on the right foot, and then again struggling all day Friday, even Saturday morning. You know, we're out of the top 10, and we're missing at least a second, if not more.
It's crazy.
And it's just grip. It's just grip potential, and it's a hot day, so you're like, how comes the tires aren't working? And these cars are just operating in such a tiny window, and we weren't there. But we managed to, through really hard, conversations and some real risk-taking when we got into P3, got a sense of a possible direction. I took that direction, and it worked.
Okay. Okay, cheers, mate. That's great, and good luck for the race today.
Appreciate it.
Thanks,
mate.
mate.
Good to see you.
So, Valtteri, this Sunday here in Baku, obviously yesterday for you wasn't quite the day you would have hoped for coming into this weekend. How can you summarise what happened yesterday with sort of the car direction and how it all unfolded for you?
It's been really, all weekend has been tough, and I think Lewis managed to find a bit more in qualifying, and obviously Q3 I only had that one run without any tow, so that's already 5-6 tenths gone, and I think there was some improvements on the second run to come, but with the red flag, that was it. But I still think I've been lacking pace, and still I don't fully understand why. It's just been hard this weekend, and many things to learn from. But in the end, here is always the Sunday that matters.
Okay. Can we get a word in your own language?
Tietenkin kymppipaikalta kun lähtee, niin ei sitä nyt helppoa lähteä, ja siellä yleensä hiilikuidun palaset voi lennellä, mutta koitetaan pysyä niin pois sählingeistä ja pitää mielessä, että kisa on pitkä ja kyllä varmasti tulee mahdollisuuksia, ja tässä kisassa voi tapahtua ihan mitä vaan, niin lähdetään hyvällä asenteella ja otetaan kaikki mahdollisuudet mitä on edessä, ja toivottavasti päästään podiumille asti, mutta kaikki on mahdollista ja sen tiedän, niin ei muuta kuin hanaa.
Good luck for today, mate.
Thanks.
Checo, obviously a very difficult qualifying for you, but you've shown great pace across the weekend. How are you feeling ahead of today's race?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward. It was a very disappointed qualifying yesterday, but it's yesterday. I think we've shown great pace all weekend, so we should be in the mix. Hopefully I'm able to get a good start, and then we got a long race ahead of us, so anything can happen. And we just try to keep it cool, and I believe that there is a good result for us today.
You've got a couple of podiums here before. What is it about this pace that you're so strong?
I think generally the race is very important to come to an end, to make sure you go to the line. Apart from 2019, I think all the other races have been pretty crazy. And I expect a bit of that today. So yeah, hopefully we are able to go to the line, and the pace should be there. We had very strong pace on Friday, so yeah, hopefully we are able to be in the mix.
Great, so can I get a word in your own language just finish?
Sí, la calificación ayer fue una calificación muy frustrante. Teníamos muy buen ritmo en toda la calificación, y luego en la Q3 con la bandera roja y mi primera vuelta que no fue lo suficientemente buena, pero tenemos una buena oportunidad para el día de hoy y creo que tenemos delante de nosotros una gran carrera.
Thanks very much, Checo. Max, P3 on the grids. You were pretty frustrated yesterday, but are you pretty excited about the prospect of the opportunities that today's race presents?
Yeah, I mean, it's always an interesting track for racing, and we have a good race car normally, so it's definitely going to be interesting, and of course, yeah, we have to move forward.
Looking at the turn one, always very tricky down there. Have you already kind of premeditated how you kind of want to approach that at the start?
Honestly, I think around here nothing is won in turn one, so just have to keep it clean and then see from there.
Do you think you've got the pace in the car to win today?
I think we have a good race car. We just have to wait and see, of course, how the others are going to perform. But from our side, we feel confident.
Perfect. And can I just get a word in your own language before the Grand Prix?
Ja, gisteren was natuurlijk jammer in de kwalificatie, maar we hebben wel veel vertrouwen in vandaag dat we een goede race kunnen hebben. Dus we moeten gewoon afwachten wat de rest ook doet. En we moeten goed op onze banden zijn en dan kunnen we een mooi resultaat hebben.
Great stuff. Good luck today. Thanks.
Where'd you go for it?
So Lando, it's now the Sunday here in Baku. Yesterday you had a slight incident at the end of, well, during qualifying in the pit lane. It's cost you 3 places in the grid. Apart from that aside, how did you feel your qualifying session went? Do you think you got to max out the car?
I would say so. I think the rest of it was a good qualifying from us. Messy. We put ourselves under a lot of pressure in some scenarios, especially in Q1. But I always got the lap in. We were fast. We just did the used tyre instead of the new in Q3, hoping we would get another run, but we didn't. So I think we can be happy. Of course, my mistake into the pit lane cost us 3 positions, so I'll try and make up for it today.
How did that all unfold going into the pit lane? Was it a communication between you and your team?
It's just, you know, when you're on a qualifying lap, you're going at the speeds we're doing there. You have like a split, you know, I was quite close to the pit entry, so you have quite a quick decision you got to make. And I guess in the end I made the wrong one, but it was just, I asked my team, what should I do? But because I was going at the speed I was doing and at such short time, by the time they got back to me and said box, I couldn't. But it was just, yeah, just a mistake on my part. I got to take it on my side and move on.
Okay, and talking about the race today, obviously you're starting down in 9th. What can you do race-wise? We've got to see a few manoeuvres down into turn 1 for you late braking lunges.
It's the aim for sure, you know. Starting 9th, we're definitely quicker than a few of the cars ahead of us. And you know, we had good pace in the car yesterday. We could have been 3rd or 4th, I think. And we had good potential to be a bit higher up. So we have a good pace in the car. Hopefully we can use it today. And yeah, gonna have some fun.
All right, good luck, mate.
Cheers.
Hi, mate.
Oh, good, mate, good. So Daniel, obviously a slightly difficult qualifying session for you yesterday with the incident in Q2. With all the hard work that you put in prep to this weekend, does it feel like a bit of a kick in the teeth that you didn't get to show it out on track?
It's, you know what, I mean, obviously it's not the way you ever want a quali to go or to end, but I do feel like some of the work we've done had kind of come to fruition in some areas, and you know, I think as well, you know, to expect it all this weekend was not our expectation. I know it's still going to be a bit of a process, but I still think the weekend's been positive, and I think I've got obviously 50 odd laps today to try and make some more of it come right.
And obviously Baku, this is a circuit you've won out back in your Red Bull days. How do you feel going into the race where you're starting today with the strategy? Is there anything you can do which can make a real difference when it comes to the end result?
Yeah, it's a lot can happen here, and 2017 was a great example of that. So, you know, you need to stay out of the mess. I think finding the barrier yesterday got that one out of the way. So, yeah, it's just really being smart. I mean, obviously we've got a free strategy choice, so see what we do with that. But I think it's really just getting good restarts, picking your moments. And
when it comes to the car for McLaren, it says you've been saying about the braking and how you struggle to get on top of that. Obviously, back in 17, you're making 2 into 1 overtakes down here into turn 1. Is the braking the area that you're really looking at focus on with the team at the minute?
It's one where I think it's quite a difference the way the car is in that phase, and I'm trying to still like exploit it the best way. And obviously, like yesterday, trying to get a bit more out of it, it didn't work. So there's still a bit I've got to kind of learn and fine tune there. But I know once I get that right, like with racing, like a lot of it is braking. As you know, once you've got the car set up, then the rest of the corner's easy. So yeah, still working on that.
And going into the race today, what's your approach going to be down at turn 1? Because we have seen plenty of safety cars and incidents around this circuit in previous years. Are you going to be taking it easy, or are you going to be really aggressive on that one?
I think, you know, like first lap for sure if there's an opportunity to go, but it's not a race where you need to win it on the first lap. Unlike Monaco, which, you know, track position's everything. Here, you know, you can kind of work at it, and if you've got a fast car, then I think it's good to be patient. So I definitely believe we're better than 13th. So if there's a gap, I'll go, but I won't try to be the biggest hero, I think, in the first few corners.
Okay, Daniel, well, good luck today, mate. Really hope it goes well.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Thanks, dude. See you guys.
Cheers. mate. Have a good one. Oh, does he?
Daddy's up an orange train. Daddy up an orange train.
Hey Sebastian, looked like an encouraging qualifying for you yesterday on team radio. It looked like you had a little bit more in the car. Did you feel what was possible yesterday?
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed because I had a lock-up in that first run of Q2 and I think that would have got us through to Q3, but then we didn't get to have another run. So it was quite costly, but as you said, the car pace was good, so hopefully we can build onto that today.
How encouraging is that for the race and the race pace? How did that look on Friday, and can you move forward today?
Yeah, I think pace looked okay already Friday in the long run, so here you can overtake, so we can do a little bit in the race, so let's see. We need to be sharp and pick the right strategy.
Great, Stephen. Can I get a few words in German, please, on your race ahead?
Ja, ich denke, nach dem Tag gestern, glaube ich, haben wir Mut, dass wir heute ein paar Punkte mitnehmen können. Die Pace ist doch ganz gut gewesen, also schauen wir mal, was heute drin ist. Ich freue mich auf jeden Fall. Wird ein langes Rennen und hier ist immer das Potenzial, dass es auch ein bisschen chaotisch wird. Also drin bleiben und schauen, was wir kriegen können.
Great stuff. Thanks, Seb. Good luck today. Hey, Lance. Difficult day out there for you in qualifying. Is it the kind of thing you just go back to sleep, try to regroup and look ahead as a fresh day today?
Yeah, for sure. I think you got to just put it behind you, and what's done is done. It was frustrating, but yeah, today's a new day, a long race ahead of us. A lot can happen here, so we'll see.
The pace of the car around here has looked pretty encouraging, so does that give you hope that you can hopefully make some progress through the field today?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we looked, I think there was great potential yesterday in qualifying, and even on Friday, I think, yeah, we looked all right. So here you can overtake, you know, things can happen, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Great, so I'm just finished. Can I get a few words in French, please?
Ouais, difficile journée hier avec les problèmes en qualif. Aujourd'hui, c'est pas la meilleure position pour commencer, mais il y a beaucoup de choses qui peuvent arriver ici, alors on doit pousser, concentrer sur aujourd'hui et on va voir ce qui va arriver.
Great stuff. Good luck today. Thanks.
So Esteban, obviously you've got Fernando Alonso as a four-time world champion, or two-time world champion, sat as your teammate. He out-qualified you yesterday, but how would you sort of assess the start to the season for you? You've been looking fairly strong in the Alpine team.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it hasn't been the smoothest qualifying yesterday. Of course, we were a little bit blocked with the red flag, and there was quite a few incidents going around. So there was definitely more in the car than what we had yesterday. But it's not the worst track, you know, to not be qualifying in the right place, because obviously you can overtake here. There's plenty of opportunities. And yeah, and if you are there until the end, I mean, normally you should do a good result. So, you know, we're going to try and aim for a comeback, and yeah, hopefully I will see Fernando in the race as well.
And coming to a circuit like this, where overtaking is a lot easier than other circuits, do you change your approach in terms of gearing the car towards the race rather than qualifying?
I mean, the conditions, you know, they kept changing, so it is a little bit tricky to plan how the car is going to feel. Obviously, it's been very windy, you know, some of the days a bit more calm. In some others, it's a bit more windy than it was yesterday, so that will affect obviously the condition. It's also cooler at the moment, but in the end, it's the same for everybody. So we try to go with the learning that we got from practice.
And one in your own language for us?
Bien sûr, non, ça n'a pas été la meilleure séance pour nous de qualif, ça c'est sûr. On aurait pu se qualifier facilement dans le top 10, mais on a eu des problèmes avec le drapeau rouge et un peu de trafic dans le meilleur tour. Donc voilà, c'est pas la pire piste pour pas être bien qualifié. On peut doubler ici, il y a beaucoup de choses qui vont se passer en course, ça va être une course de dingue. Donc voilà, j'ai hâte de voir ce qu'on peut faire aujourd'hui.
Thanks, mate. Have a good one.
How are you, mate?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. So Fernando, yesterday a good qualifying session for you. You said you enjoyed the Baku circuit in general. How do you kind of see how yesterday went for yourself?
Yeah, it was a good quali for us in terms of position, but not in terms of feeling, because with all the red flags, I think we missed a little bit being able to exploit the potential of the car. But yeah, let's see if we can take some good points today. It's a crazy race always here in Baku, and we need to stay away of the walls and of any trouble.
And obviously the start to the season didn't go probably the way you had hoped it would, in terms of Esteban had the slight edge. How have you and your team been working together on your side of the garage to kind of improve that and be able to get into Q3 and get good results like yesterday?
Yeah, it has been challenging, no doubts. I think to adapt to the new tires, to the car, it is not an easy task, but yeah, I think I have a good reference. Esteban is doing a very good job, so I can compare things and learn how to improve. And yeah, it has been a good weekend. Hopefully I can stay in front of him also in the race.
Okay, and one in your own language for us?
Bueno, ha sido una crono bastante buena y seguramente una carrera ahora por delante difícil. Baku siempre es espectacular el día de carrera y esperemos coger buenos puntos.
Good luck for today.
Cheers, mate.
Charles, our pole sitter for today, I'm guessing you slept a whole lot better last night than you did ahead of your last pole position in Monaco.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously in Monaco it was a bit, I was a bit more worried, but I slept well and feeling ready for today. It's not going to be easy. It's a lot easier to overtake compared to Monaco, but we'll give our best.
How have Ferrari managed to turn things around like this? Ahead of this weekend, you guys were saying it could be difficult, and here you are sat on pole.
Well, I guess it's a lot of work, basically. The team at home did an amazing job since we started to struggle in 2020. The team at the track too, and we are all pushing in the same direction. It's going well for now. But I have to say it was a surprise for all of us to be so competitive in qualifying. A nice surprise, and hopefully we'll have more of the same surprise today in the race.
You've got two very fast guys in Max and Lewis behind you. What can you do today? Is it just do what you can to keep them behind you?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, at the end, yes, we are fighting them, but on the other hand, I don't think we are at their levels yet if we look all the season. So we are not fighting them directly. I want the win, and I will push for the win today. But on the other hand, we also have our main rivals, which are McLaren, and we shouldn't forget that. So we'll try to make the best race, but it's going to be very difficult to keep them behind.
I love that fighting talk. Can I just get a few words in French for your French fans?
Bon, un très bon week-end jusque-là. J'ai dormi un petit peu mieux que la nuit du samedi à dimanche à Monaco. Donc voilà, j'ai vraiment hâte d'être dans la voiture. J'espère faire le meilleur départ possible. Ce sera important, surtout après le virage 2, il y a une longue ligne droite. Et après, on va essayer de bien gérer les softs. Et j'espère qu'on sera assez compétitif pour garder cette première place.
Great stuff. Good luck today, Charles. Thank you. Thanks. Hey, Carlos. P5 on the grid today. Firstly, is the car all right? Can keep your gearbox, no extra penalty coming?
It looks like it. It looks like we've changed every possible part that we think was damaged. The crash was not heavy at all, so it's not like I am expecting. We were expecting too much damage, but just in case, we are changing everything we can to be as ready as we can for today's race. That there might be some good opportunities.
There's so much pace in the car. What kind of opportunities do you think you can take today?
Well, first of all, I think the pace, there was a lot of pace in the car in quali that we weren't probably able to unravel through qualifying due to the disrupted session and how complicated it was. But at the same time, I think in the race, it's not going to be as easy as quali. I think in quali we did have pace for pole, like Charles demonstrated. It's just that the first stint on the soft is going to be very tricky for us, and that we are probably gonna have to suffer a bit in those first stages of the race, and then hopefully when we put the hard on and the graining is not there anymore, then it should be an easier, more straightforward stint.
How surprised were you with the pace generally? I know you said it might be a bit tougher race pace-wise, but this is a Ferrari that no one expected this time last year.
No, neither us. We were the first ones, that we didn't expect to be as good as we are, but the key is that the car is behaving very similar to Monaco, which is giving us confiance in the street tracks, and then thanks to that good behavior in the corners, we are able to take out a lot of downforce and recover our deficit on the straights and manage to more or less keep up with the others on the long straights. So thanks to our very good car behavior in the corners, we are managing to, by taking rear wing off, to have decent speed on the straights, and we are in contention for pole position. Are we in contention for the win? We will see today, but yeah, it's definitely been good news and great news for the team.
There are often chaotic races here in Baku, always a safety car it feels like it, and turn one's always challenging. What's your kind of approach for that first corner and those opening laps?
Nothing, it's going to be tough. I mean, if there's a race where maybe you want to take it a bit easier in lap 1 is here, because there's more to lose than to gain by the looks of it. But at the same time, I think my race is important, to try and get ahead of Gasly. I think we have better pace, and then try to follow the top 3 and play our cards once we get behind them. So yeah, on one way I'm keen to attack and try to pass Gasly. On the other hand, it's still a long race, so I will decide whenever I'm there.
Great stuff. And just a few words in Spanish, please.
Sí, ayer fue una jornada difícil para mí personalmente, una jornada muy buena para el equipo porque vimos que el coche tenía ritmo para luchar por la pole. No sabemos si tendremos ritmo para luchar por ganar la carrera, pero bueno, vamos a intentar hacer una buena salida, intentar sufrir lo menos posible con la blanda en la primera parte de carrera y luego, una vez pongamos la dura, intentar demostrar nuestro ritmo.
Great stuff. Good luck today, Carlos. Thank you.
So Pierre, yesterday in qualifying, P4, 2 thousandths off Max. How gutted were you at the end? Did you wish you tucked your head down that last straight a bit more?
I did it already, so I really tried everything. I mean, yesterday was really amazing for us to be fighting for, actually for pole position. I think up to just right before the last corner, we were on provisional pole, looking at the GPS. So the car's been fantastic all weekend, and it's been really exciting to be to have such a strong performance the whole Saturday. So I really hope we can transform it into a very strong race, because we need a point in the championship, and that's what we'll try from P4. Everything can happen, so very excited for this afternoon.
And what's your approach going to be down at turn 1? Because P4, you've got the championship rivals right in front of you, right in the mix. It could be all fiery down there.
Yeah, exactly. I think it could be a very tight battle. So we'll see what happens. We know Max and Lewis are fighting for the championship, so they got to be reasonable with the risk they're taking. So we'll see. If there are opportunities, we'll take them for sure. And from there we'll see what happens. I believe there will be safety cars. There will be virtual safety cars. So we need to be very alert and ready to grab every opportunities that could come up during the race. Yeah.
And when it comes to strategy here in Baku, what is your approach with it? Do you have a plan A, B, C, D? Do you have lots of plans?
Yeah, exactly. Every weekend we've got different plans. There are thousands of possibilities, so you can't cover everything, but let's say we have our couple of main strategies, and we'll react based on what happens after the start, where we are, our pace, degradation, everything. So we've been very, very strong all weekend, and really hope it can be again the case this afternoon.
And can you get a word in your own language?
Yeah. Ouais, c'était vraiment une très bonne qualif, avec la 4e position à 2 millièmes de Max. C'était vraiment très serré. On a montré vraiment une très bonne vitesse tout le week-end pour l'instant, et j'espère qu'on va pouvoir faire la même chose en course. On va essayer de saisir toutes les opportunités qui se présentent à nous, et j'espère que on va pouvoir faire quelque chose de beau aujourd'hui.
All right, thanks Pierre. Good luck for today. Yuki, it's been a couple of years since we were actually racing each other, and now we're standing in Baku.
Yeah.
First time to the circuit for you. How do you feel about Baku in general? How did yesterday go for you?
Yeah, I think first time in FP1, I a little bit struggled to adapt to the track. Most of the corners was 90 degrees, and most of the corners same range speed. So I think I'm not quite good at the 90 degrees, but I think until qualifying I get used to it, and in the end I put it all together and able to went to Q3. So yeah, it was a good day, I think. Yesterday until Q3, sorry. And last bit and went to the wall was a bit shame, but yeah, overall it was a positive race week.
And kind of going into today's race, what's your approach going to be down at turn 1? Because obviously P7 is a great place for you to start. It's an opportunity for your team to score big points. So what are you going to kind of watch out for? Are you going to be aggressive down into turn 1 today?
We see the situation. You know, of course I want to go aggressive and gain the position, but at the same time, it's more risk to have damage. And I think for this week, especially for AlphaTauri, having a good potential for the car. So, you know, we don't wanna damage car in the first turn 1 and or first lap and ruin my race. So, I think it's important to survive the first lap, and yeah, we'll see what's gonna happen. I think the pace is there, so of course I try to gain the position as much as possible. But yeah, I won't take too risk, but of course I'll go aggressive to gain the position.
Okay, well, can we get a word in your own language?
Yep. 昨日まですごくポジティブなレースウィークでした。最後 Q3 で、壁に行ってしまったのはすごく残念でしたけど、まあ今日また巻き返して、直してくれたメカニックのためにも、ポイントで終えられたなと思います。
Good luck today, mate.
Kimi, it was a tricky qualifying session for everybody yesterday. How was it for you?
Yeah, obviously a lot of red flags, a lot of incidents, but yeah, same for everyone. And yeah, I mean, obviously it could have been better, but you know, we'll see what we get today. That's from yesterday, and now we concentrate for the race.
This track is one that you can get plenty of overtaking opportunities. Have you got the pace in the car to move up the field?
We'll find out soon, but you know, it's been pretty decent. But yeah, the race could be anything. I mean, it could be similar than qualifying yesterday, or it could be that not much happens. But we'll try to stay out of any issues in the first lap and go from there.
Okay, so can I get a few words in your own language, please?
No, katsotaan, että mitä kisa tuo tullessa, että onko yhtä hektinen kuin eilen vai mitä tulee tapahtua. Tarvitaan selviä ekat mutkat ehjä ja mennään sinne.
Thank you, Kimi. Antonio, a difficult qualifying session for you on a circuit where you'd shown so much pace. How are you feeling ahead of today's race?
Yeah, it was a difficult quali. Yeah, again, I said yesterday, sorry to the team for the mistake. The pace, like you mentioned, was good until that moment. But you know, we are in Baku. Everything can happen, and we saw always a nice race here. It's not Monaco, so starting Pilas, you know, if you have a good pace, you can still, you know, recover the situation, and this is what we need to do today.
Like you said, opportunities are plenty for overtaking. It's tricky into turn 1 at the start as well. How are you feeling about that whole approach to today's race?
Yeah, it will be a long race, so you know, it's not the case to you know, try to overtake everyone everyone in turn 1 and turn 2 in the first lap. So it will be a long race. Strategy will be really important as well. And yeah, just I hope you know, with the pace that we had on Friday, we can come back to the, you know, close to the top 10. Target still the same. Will be not easy, but you never know.
The pace of this Alfa Romeo over the course of this season has just been getting better and better. Do you feel like you guys have managed to unlock something in that car that's kind of given you the potential to maybe fight for points?
Yeah, you know, we are also looking Kimi yesterday in qualifying. We were again really close to Alpine and Aston Martin, so it will be the same also in the race. You know, to score points like in Monaco, we need to try to put all together. Good strategy, you know, good first lap, good start. So yeah, we will try to do our best and try to have a good result.
Great stuff. And just finished, can I get a word in your own language, please?
Sì, giornata difficile ieri in qualifica dopo aver dimostrato un buon passo per tutto il weekend.
però siamo a Baku, quindi è una pista dove comunque si può recuperare, non è Monaco, quindi dobbiamo cercare di fare una buona strategia, un buon primo giro. Il passo comunque venerdì era buono, quindi cercheremo di fare il nostro meglio.
Great stuff. Good luck today, Antonio. Thanks.
So Mick, we're down here at Haas. Yesterday qualifying, sum up your session for us.
Yeah, obviously not the easiest. We had obviously a few red flags, which well brought a bit of chaos into our plans. Nonetheless, we managed to get off, with 3 runs, which is great. Unfortunately, didn't manage to maximise my lap, but nonetheless, I think today is a interesting race. So we'll just bet on that.
And what is the strategy today? Because Baku, in previous years, there's cars going off left, right and centre. Is it just to aim to finish the race, to avoid being in trouble and see where that puts you towards the end?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, we saw yesterday was quite tricky for everybody. So, looking onto today's race, I think it's going to be a tricky race for everybody too. So, in terms of strategy, yeah, we have an idea, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be completely different than what everybody expects right now with all the red flags and safety cars and stuff.
Okay, can we get a word in your own language?
Ja, ich freue mich aufs Rennen, es wird bestimmt spannend. Im Generellen natürlich ein chaotisches Rennen hier, aber dennoch bestimmt viel Spaß mit involviert und hoffentlich können wir ein bisschen nach vorne kommen, ein paar Positionen gut machen und wer weiß, vielleicht sogar ein paar Punkte mitnehmen.
Good luck for today, mate.
Thank you.
Nikita, you're right. So Nikita, sum up for yesterday's qualifying session. You and Mick were fairly close out there in the end. Were you happy with your performance?
To be very honest, I wasn't. I felt like there was quite a lot of possibility for me to improve, and in fact, I got a little bit too excited and locked up until the last corner, which lost me at least half a second, unfortunately. So very annoying. I was upset with myself, but as you know, being a racing driver yourself, the moments when you're the most upset is when you learn the most. So yeah, hopefully today is going to be a better day.
And coming into Baku, it's a crazy old weekend normally here. There's lots of overtaking opportunities. What are you going to aim to do down in the first lap? Are you going to be aggressive with your overtakes, or are you going to kind of sit back and let it all unfold in front of you?
I think from my previous experience in Baku, what I've learned is this track allows you to overtake if you do have a pace, and hopefully we will have some pace today based on our Friday performance. But here we need to just keep our nose clean and do our best in the race at the same time.
Okay, can we get some words in your own language?
Планируем провести достаточно чистый первый пару кругов и после этого стабилизироваться в гонке. Надеюсь, что наша скорость будет хорошая и эта трасса очень обгонная, поэтому позволяет двигаться вперед.
Good luck for today, mate.
Nikki, a tricky qualifying session for you out there, well, for everybody really. How was it for you in terms of the pace of the car, and what more could you got out of it?
I think just having been on the track at the right place, right time type thing, I think Q2 was definitely achievable, and that would have been the target. So it would have been the difference between maybe 1 or 2 starting positions, which at this track, maybe at the start is not the end of the world. But I guess everything from yesterday doesn't really have, and the driving and how the pace of the car was feeling, not really so relevant today because it's obviously not racing at Baku, anything could happen. I did miss the high fuel running in FP2 with the issue we had with the engines shutting off because of the overheating, so a bit unknown what it's going to feel like, but obviously just hoping to stay clean, take advantage of any opportunities that present themselves.
Those opportunities, we always seem to see a safety car here. There seems to be plenty of incidents. Does that give you hope that there could be a big result here if everything goes your way?
Yeah, I think we got to do our job properly. I got to do my job properly. Going to keep it out of the barrier, stay trouble clean, and definitely if there is opportunities, we got to take advantage of them strategically, and just being smart out on track. So if there's any track that it could be a really chaotic one, it's probably going to be this one. So hoping for that.
Great stuff, Nicky. Thank you very much for your time. Bringing in George straight away.
Hey, then.
How are you feeling ahead of this race? Q2 again, you've made a habit of at least getting into Q2. Are you feeling quite excited about the prospects of this Baku street circuit?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've all seen how easy it is to make mistakes around here, and I think safety cars, VSCs, even red flags could be a feature today. So I think we're in a good position with our 2 sets of hards. And I think there's only about 3 teams, Mercedes and AlphaTauri, who have got the 2 sets of hards. That if there were to be an incident, a safety car or a red flag, that will benefit us. The inherent pace is obviously quite a bit behind, I think, probably 3 or 4 tenths behind Alfa Romeo, who are the next quickest. So we just got to be in it to win it, really, and not make any silly mistakes and try and be there at the end to capitalise from any incidents.
Do you tend to change your approach in races like this that offer opportunity? Because like you just said, you don't want to make any silly mistakes now of all times.
No, not really. I guess you never want to make a mistake or you never want to crash. So that's the same here as it is in Silverstone or Bahrain or wherever it may be. I guess you can afford to take slightly more risk in those circuits because the error margin is slightly wider. But no, I'll be jumping in the car and trying to drive as fast as possible, but equally trying to keep out of the walls as well.
And straight line speed of this car is pretty good, so that's pretty handy around here.
Yeah, definitely. We're fast in the straight, but obviously the straight is awfully long, I think 2.5 or 2.2k or something. So slipstream and DRS is pretty massive, but I prefer to have a straight line speed than not. So we're in reasonable shape.
Great stuff. All right, thank you very much,
Cheers.
George. Thank you.